Hello, my name's Pumpkin, and welcome to the patch. Today we are in the glittering dunes, specifically the plains. Last week's Dream Snap was a desert themed, and with all the Star Wars stuff, I decided to design the plains, Star Wars themed with a little bit of Aladdin as well. I was really struggling of what to do with the desert, and seeing as I do want to decorate every single biome on every single DLC, I was so pleased to see some new items that would suit the desert. My specific theme for this area was a Star Wars inspired desert marketplace. Like something you would see in a sci-fi film where they go to visit an alien planet and they're in a marketplace. That was what I was going for. You can see a little sneak peek around there. So let's see how it was built, shall we?
As per usual, I'm trying to get the houses in the right place before I start putting down the pathing. This Naboo house is one of my favourites out of the Star Wars stuff. I'm getting the stalls in the right place now. I'm trying to figure out what I want the layout to be like. Now I have the Tatooine house, and I'm figuring out I want the Tatooine house and the Naboo one close to each other. I'm still trying to kind of figure out the layout. Just here I'm putting down Eva's house. I want this to be a very sci-fi build, so I figured her house would fit into it very nicely. I've put Scrooge's store over here and decided that this part will be a bit of a shopping district. I'm putting down a new path that came with the Tatooine house last week. It's a nice lighter sand path, which was really needed, as the desert can be a bit bland, same colour, so getting a more sandy path in, I felt it much nicer than the orange sand. So I figured out where I want the paths to go, and now I'm filling it all in. As per usual, I'll speed all this bit up. I've stopped the path halfway through the plains here, as that's going to transition into a new market area. Just here I'm using the Tatooine walls to give Scrooge's shop a facade. I feel this worked very well, and it does disguise the more pristine look of Scrooge's shop with this desert style. I'm just rounding off some of the corners. I really don't like having sharp corners on the paths, and I do tend to fill all of them in. Now I'm making another facade for a market stall. These Tatooine walls are very versatile and very handy, and they suit the desert so well. I'm really glad we have some new items for this particular biome. I'm putting down the Tatooine stall and one of Aladdin's stalls. These were in the premium shop last week, and I couldn't resist getting them. I'm seeing if this Aladdin one will fit here. I put it down temporarily, but I will move it later. I'm putting down some more of the Aladdin stools inside that Tatooine house that I made. Now I'm moving that Aladdin stool to have something to go on the side of the paths here. I'm putting down the hover car. I didn't want to go too over the top with adding these everywhere, but I think having them on the paths and the roads give the area a more bustling, lived-in feel. I'm putting down some of Pocahontas stuff, as I feel the colours really suit the desert as well. I'm going in with the greenery now. I use a lot of these palms and I use the bamboo trees. I wanted to give this more of a lush desert look, as just a desert theme with no greenery isn't my style. I add these dune trees as well. They have a nice overhang to them. I like having them go over paths and fill up some areas with decoration. I try out these cactus. I don't think they stay in the build, but I could be wrong. I put in these trees wherever I feel like it needs some contrast and there's just too much orange around. I add these little pops of green. I'm just looking around now to see if I want to add any more trees. And I decide it's all good and I go in with some more decorations. I decide to sort out the paving into the next area. This is when I decide that this is going to be a marketplace, just solely a marketplace, not with any houses. I want to give it its own entryway, so I put in these Tatooine walls. To stop the walls looking too blunt when they stop, I add some of the palms where the wall stops so it doesn't look so strange. Now it's time to build up the marketplace. Most of these stalls are going to be from the Tatooine pack and from the Aladdin pack. Again, all of these were premium items and they were well worth the moonstones. They are so detailed and so many different pieces. I was able to make this marketplace look like a bustling, busy street. In these Eternity Isle lampposts, and start fiddling around with some more of the details. Of course, I need my trusty fireflies. I think they look very pretty around the Naboo house, but I tried not to go too crazy with them. Here I'm figuring out a centerpiece to my marketplace over the other side, and I decided to go with these Aladdin stone stools and these rails with the carpets on. I figured, seeing as we were using the carpet displays here, that the looms would fit in really well as well. I put in another hover car just here, just to make it look like someone's just popped out to visit the marketplace. I'm adding the other pathing from the Tatooine house. This is the sand without the border. Again, I think it's so nice, and it cuts up the orange sand with this nice beachy looking sand. I go in with some rocky borders. This is one of my favourite things to do. If I don't want to put a fence somewhere, I put a border in with some little stones and rocks. I also use these little stones as walkways to stalls and to other biomes. This takes a bit of finessing to get it just right, but I really do think it's worth the faffing. Now that I'm done with the rocky borders, I decide where I actually want to put fencing. And I use this Eternity Isle bamboo one. I haven't used this on a build before, and it's so beautifully detailed with the rope coming off it as well, and I've just been waiting for a build where it would suit, and it definitely suits this one. I really wish the footprint of that palm wasn't so big. It would look so good if it could layer over other greenery, but maybe they'll listen to us one day. I've decided it needs a bit more rocky borders over this side, so I add some in, and now I go in with the small greenery. I wanted this to look like a lush desert, like I said before, so I went for some palms, stuff that would look like it would grow around an oasis maybe. I wanted it to look especially green around that Naboo house. I'm finding some more areas to put some more of the small greenery. I don't want to make it too cluttered, but I also want it to be much more green than a desert would be. Now it's time to go in with some decorative items around the stalls. So I'm using this Pocahontas basket to go around the stalls to make it look like it's part of what they are selling. I go in with some of the food shelving as well, and some more smaller items to go actually on the stalls. I must say, if you're thinking of getting this Tatooine kit, it is quite difficult to get items on the stalls, so be wary of that. So I'm putting in some clutter. I'm going in with some pots and some wooden boxes, just things that you would find around a stall. Now I'm putting some more of the lighting in. I really love this lamppost. It adds a bit more of a rustic feel to this build, and that is my personal style. I'm adding in some seating and some more greenery, but to the marketplace area. I'm moving some of the flowers that are actually in this area. I'm filling in some more areas with some stalls that looked a bit empty. Just here I'm putting in some more carpet details to make it look like this particular area sells more fabrics. I'm going around and adding the last bits of details or anything I think I have missed. And with that, this build is over.
So with the walkthrough, I'm going to start from this side. Coming through here, this is where the marketplace starts. I used the Tatooine walls here to cover up Scrooge's, to give it a bit of a facade to make it fit here. I haven't been able to get Scrooge's to fit in the other marketplace that I made by the docks, so I wanted it to fit here. This wall really worked well to hide it. Just down here is another biome and a little seating area here with some trees and greenery. Just here we have some more of the Star Wars items, the Tatooine ones.
Look who's here.
We have a hover car here. This is the main part of the marketplace. As you can see, I have used a lot of the Tatooine items here. We have the market stall and this little doodad thing here. Just here we have the hover car, and here we have the Tatooine house. Now, it wasn't my intention to get the Tatooine house, although I do love it. It got me because of this new path. I knew I needed it for this area and for the other desert areas that I want to give a revamp at some point. But the house is very aesthetic and it suits this area very, very well, and it gives me more to decorate with, so I'm not going to complain. This was from Aladdin, and it was another premium shop item. I put some of the Pocahontas items around here. So I have the basket of food here. And just here I have some trays of food. I felt like the colours really suited a desert area, and the way that the shelves were tied together, I felt well with how the stall was put together and how these fences were put together. This fence I haven't used before, and it is from Eternity Isle. Just here I put some more details. So we have a vase and another one of the Pocahontas baskets. I've used some more Eternity Isle items here with these lampposts as well. Just here is another market stall, same as the other one I showed you from the Aladdin premium stuff. Just here we have the Naboo house. I absolutely love this house. I got it the first time round it was in the shop, and I've always wanted to use it somewhere where it works better. I did have it in the jungle for a little while, but now I have it somewhere in a proper themed area where it's with its other Star Wars items. I love how this hover car actually does move and hover a bit. So good. Just here I've used the Tatooine walls again. I've actually made a little structure all the way around and put some stools inside it. Just here I've used a mixture of the Eternity Isle fences. I like how they work together. I have another piece of the market items that were Aladdin's in the premium shop here. I've put two together and put a little bench in the middle of them. As for the greenery, I've used the bamboo here, and I've used these palms and these dune trees to give it a bit more of a lush desert vibe. Just here I've put Eva's house. Again, I wanted it to look very sci-fi here, not just a desert market stall, so I felt like her spaceship would go well here. I've used another one of the Tatooine stalls and decorated it with some items around it, like again Pocahontas's basket and another vase. We have another market stall here from Aladdin, and some more of the Pocahontas items here too. I've gone for some small plants as well. I wanted them to look very lush and green, but still that would suit in a desert. I've separated the planes by putting this wall piece through it. I felt like because the space was so long, it needed a little bit of separation and to feel like you are walking into another area. Just through here it is just market stalls. We have another little hover car and some more stalls. Here we have the loom from the Aladdin market set and the pottery one again. I have these stools here as well, these brick ones. I wanted to make a centerpiece with these to have them joining, so these top bits of the dome would connect, make a kind of market square. But unfortunately, it didn't look so good when I put them together, so instead I separated them and put these blankets in between instead. I've got our actual functional stools here as well. Gaston's and Goofy's. Because of course, they would go in a marketplace. In the middle, I felt like it needed something, so I put a little cooking station. Unfortunately, these ones aren't actually a functional cooking station, so I don't mind that I can't get to it. It's just some decoration. Just here I put some more rugs and a nice chair that again is from Aladdin's items. I don't think this one was a premium item. I think this could have been a Jasmine friendship reward. I can't quite remember though. I absolutely love this area. To be honest with you, I was quite dreading to decorate the desert areas. The glittering dunes have never been one of my favourite biomes. But with this Star Wars items, I really feel like I have made something interesting. It's very nostalgic for me, as I grew up watching a lot of sci-fi TV series, and I would always have episodes where they were going round the alien planets, going round marketplaces, and that's exactly what I wanted to try to emulate here, and I think I did a pretty good job. What do you think? Do you think it looks like a sci-fi bustling marketplace? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching this little pumpkin in this safe space of the internet. Until next time, goodbye!